Hello, it's me, Shea. I've had some requests to uh, uh, find out more about how our victory garden is going. So I thought I would just take you on a little tour. Thanks to the miracle of my laptop. So we're just going to go out here into the yard and have a little look-see at all the stuff that's growing out here. It's hard for me to see the screen here, so hopefully I'm generally keeping myself centered here. We are walking around, that was our front yard. We're walking around the side and coming into the back. First, I will show you our peach tree. I tried recording one of these a minute ago, but the sound was bad. So what I have to do is like constantly take a selfie while I'm showing you stuff. Otherwise, the sound cuts out. I tried just like turning the computer this way, and as you can see when I do that, the sound just kind of vanishes. As you can see when I do that, the sound just sort of vanishes. So I won't do that. Here I am standing under our cherry tree, one of our two cherry trees. There's our other cherry tree over there. And as you can see, it's got some nice fat cherries that are ripening on it. There are a lot more where that came from. Here is some kind of plant. I forget what it's called, but they use it to make licorice. I know that, and it smells like licorice. Here is our apple tree. This is our Luke apple tree. We planted this when Luke was little. So it kind of wound up being his name for him. I don't know if you can see that there. There is some lettuce growing in that tub. And over here, behind me, you can see the raspberries that are going nuts. And here we are, also standing under the peach tree. I am not certain what the peach tree is going to do this year, if we're going to get a bunch of stuff, or if it's going to not produce. Last year, we just had tons and tons of peaches. Here is various potted tomatoes and so forth growing. I will take you to our other apple tree, which is growing here behind me. This grew a ton of apples last year. I think you can see it. Over here is the zone of death, the scene of the terrible rat wars that have been going on. The death toll so far has been Shea's 0, rats 28, which suits me just fine. Generations of rats yet unborn will not curse us, because they'll never be born, because we killed their parents and their grandparents. Here is the garden. Over my shoulder, I hope you can see it. We are growing in the front row nearest to you. There's peas, and then after that we've got various squashes and cucumbers and so forth, and that long row of kind of leafy dark green, that's our potatoes. I planted those. I'm very pleased with it. Actually, Jan and I planted all of this stuff. And then we got beans growing, and that's what the netting is all about. And then beyond that is carrots and lettuce and spinach. We're going to have to replant some of the spinach. Here behind me, you might be able to see, I'll move over here a little bit. Here behind me is the Mystifer, built by Uncle Michael, site of many epic sea battles when our boys were younger. Now it is the place where grandchildren, granddaughters, and little Zeno like to play as well. Over behind me is our quite spectacular rhododendron, and also our little burn pit, which is nice for sitting around and having fires in the summertime. Um, and if you're a rhododendron fan or azalea fan, we have more of them growing over here behind my shoulder. So that's the basic plant survey. We've also got some blueberries growing around over by the fence and things like that. And so the garden is taking off nicely, and I'm learning little things. Like, did you know that when beans come up out of the ground, of course, the two halves of the bean are still there. They're part of the food for the young growing plant. But the two halves of the bean, including like a white bean, once the plant starts to grow, the two halves of the bean that are still attached to the bean plant will themselves turn green because they start manufacturing chlorophyll to help feed the plant, which I did not know. And that I think is very interesting. Our lawn, you might notice, is a bit shaggy. That's because the last time I cut the grass, I managed to bend the blade on the lawnmower because I'm a doofus. And so I need either a new blade or I need to get that old blade straightened out. So that's going to be one of those things I'll have to figure out how to do. I assume lawnmower blade supplies are, of course, essential. And so I can just, hop out with a mask on and go get a lawnmower blade or something. Although my lawnmower, I think, was built during the Pleistocene, so I'm not sure. Anyway, that is the story of our garden, and hopefully this time, this is the second attempt to make one of these videos. This time you'll be able to hear what I said. Anyway, hope you and your families are keeping safe and healthy, and may God be with all of you, and have a lovely time until the next time we meet.